All right, let's try this. Oh my god.
All right, let's try this again.
All right, let's see. I know we're trying it again. We're trying it again.
Yes.
I got 2 phones and whatnot, so I'm trying to make it like as convenient.
Okay.
As convenient as possible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
All right. What are we talking about? What are we doing?
We're talking about this amazing world that we created back in 2004.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 2003, the world saw it in 2004, right?
To be correct, to be politically correct, it did happen in 2003.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Yes.
All right.
So, you good?
Yeah. You know me. I have to shave and like get ready and
Look.
Gotta be camera ready, as they say. Camera ready.
I know, Flipz, you have no idea. Look at this. I don't never have hair on my face, but I feel like I need to grow up. So I got like a little beard going.
You're like, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Hey, it's crazy. But
yes.
So for the people that don't know, Ivan Flipz, the man, the myth, explain to the people who you are.
Oh man. I guess based on this conversation and the dance world, a lot of people remember me from the prayer flip and You Got Served and the spins. I was also in Honey prior to You Got Served. I worked on the movie Honey as well. So, B-boy from Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico, raised out of Florida, lived in New York through 9/11. Yo, I got a clip. I was doing head spins at like a little past 1 in the morning. We had got out of the movie theater at the AMC in Times Square. And I was doing head spins out on the street. And a few hours later, the first plane hit the Twin Towers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was there for 9/11. I was there for the blackout. I considered it like an omen. I was like, I got to get out of here. So, yeah, I felt like, I don't know, like bad things are going to happen. And then I booked the film Honey, and from that, like the doors started to open, and I was able to meet you when You Got Served. And
Yeah.
20 years later.
I know. So let's get into it. So tell me this: what was your experience as far as like the audition process of You Got Served? Because we know that we had everybody and their mom and dad auditioning for that movie.
Yeah, man. The audition was well, can I be honest?
Yeah.
I didn't audition. Don't hate me though. I didn't.
You know what? I believe that because
what ended up,
some people that just don't have to.
What ended up happening, remember Nicole Neal and Lady Jules from the Beat.
Okay. Yeah.
They vouched for me when I had done the movie Honey. Nicole Neal was also in the movie Honey with me.
Right.
She vouched for me, and then Lady Jules, her and I had toured together before for a company called Rennie Harris Peer Movement, and she vouched for me. So when I got here, what I did have to do, which we could talk about, is the day at the church which was like the final rehearsal.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I saw the audition, but I didn't have to audition. I was flown in, directly booked. But with that said, I felt like there was more pressure on me because I came from New York. I got flown in. People were like, "Who's this guy?" And I knew a lot of the B-boys and the B-girls. So, yeah, I didn't have to audition. But to be quite honest, at that time, I knew that I had to get my foot in the door. So I went to all the rehearsals.
Right.
I started going to Groove Night to start hanging out with all the dancers. And
Right.
I went to Carnival. Tina Landon was like, you need to go to the choreographer's ball to Carnival. So I was like, I'm there. Sign me up. Like whatever for the freestyles. You remember how Carnival Carey had, I think it was Oscar and Dunock, like the janitors, and then they would break.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
That was the time. But I was super blessed, man, to not have to audition. However, I do feel like I went through the process of hanging out with everybody, meeting everybody, wherever there was like a jam or an audition or anything there. So that was kind of my audition process, was like just hang out with everybody so everybody will vouch for me.
Hey, that's kind of how it is too. you have the talent. So it's not like you're getting in there because they like you. It's like once they see you, they like, there's no doubt this dude's going to be in the movie. I have a question for you right now too. Like, because B-boys, we as dancers, we have this energy about us. We're very arrogant. We're very competitive. When you did get to the church and you saw everybody, were you intimidated when you saw who made that damn movie?
Yeah, I was. There's two levels to it. There's like intimidation, and then there's nerves. I used the nerves to get past the intimidation because I just didn't feel like I would. You know, when you book a gig and you do the gig, you might not make the cut, you might not make the edit,
Right.
so you could talk about
Right.
all you want.
Right.
So when I saw the talent in the room, including you guys doing the choreo,
Right.
that was intimidating alone. Is
Wow.
Dave Scott and you being like, "Yo, pick up what you can,
Right.
put you where you know." So it there was a level of discomfort, but feeling like, how can I earn my way to belong here? Because I belong here. I belong
Right.
with all people. I've battled some of them in the room, know who they are, knew everybody's credentials.
Right.
So it was like, how can I make myself fit? Like, where do I fit? Because
Right.
when you guys were learning the choreo, man, you guys learn like this. People take your class, they learn your style, they learn the swag, they learn the vocabulary in which you draw your moves from. And I was just like a fish out of water in LA with all this talent. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Who do I have to impress? So Dave started pointing at the executives, and I was like, all right, cool, bet. As long as I know who you gotta wow or who's in the room.
Right.
But there was so much talent in there, and there was like legends in the room that I had only heard about or seen audition or seen on DVD for like NSYNC's tour and Britney's dancers. Everyone's in the room, so you're like, oh my God. Janet dancers, Michael dancers, everybody's in the room. So
look, Flipz. I'm gonna tell you this. You feel like you was intimidated. I was like, okay, we were hired to choreograph that movie. I don't care, dude. I don't have no pride. I don't have no ego. If I see somebody that's dope, I'm be like, oh my God, he is so sick. When we were auditioning and then we were choreographing, I was looking at these people. I was like, God, I couldn't believe the talent that was in that room and that I was instructing. I was like, these dudes are murderers when it comes to the dance world. And I'm like, all right, check this out. I want y'all to come in here. And I know they was like, okay. I'll follow him, not downplaying who I am, but it's just as a choreographer, dancer, and knowing the talent and the level and what these dudes have done, I don't care, dude. You just intimidating. It's a respect thing too.
And when you guys had like the freestyle, there was like, some people decide to warm up. There's like the professional trained dancers that understand we got to warm up. And then there's the freestylers that are like, as soon as somebody starts moving or a circle starts forming, I'm jumping in. So I think for me, it was like, stay hydrated. I don't know how many times we're going to go out. I don't know how many times I'm going to freestyle in between. I don't know how many times the executives want to see it. So there was that, what you talk about, intimidation factor, the nerves kick in. And I was so young at the time. I felt like I didn't eat the whole day. There was catering. Remember they had catering for us? Yeah. Lunch and everything. I couldn't even eat. I was so nervous in a good way, like a kid in the first year of high school, like a freshman in high school.
Right.
That's what it. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for you. What's your best gig?
Question answered. No.
Look, we got the same answer for that. I'm telling you, man. Like, I don't care what I've done. Just side note, I don't care what I've done in my life, who I've been around, what I've experienced. The process and that you guys serve moment is the most powerful moment in my entire life. There's nothing that could compare to the moment when Chris called me up and told me about the movie. There's nothing that compare me from when me and Dave was sitting in his apartment and go over all those names, go over all those dancers, go over all those videos and pictures and trying to pick everybody out. And there's nothing that can compare to the moment when we came to the rehearsals and saw everybody there in fire mode. Like everybody was standing there. It was like having the elite. I don't know how do you explain it. It's like walking into a room with all the elite people in there looking at you to control the situation. Talk about intimidating. So I can go on for days and days about that, but I just want to make sure that people get to know things about you. Tell me about like your best. Not gonna say your best job because we all know you got service was your best job. And not your best job, but your favorite. But tell me, what was the job that you didn't get that you thought you got and that you wanted?
Oh, the job that I wanted
And
more
didn't
than anything.
get. Yes.
That I still want more than anything that I never got.
Yes.
To dance for Michael Jackson, man.
Oh God.
I auditioned twice. I auditioned in New York at Madison Square Garden, and then I auditioned here. And I understood that it's a height thing sometimes because the artist is of a certain height, so everyone needs to be similar to the height of. You can't overtower an artist, or you can't be too short next to an artist, which would have been my scenario. But I think he still is the biggest artist in the world still. I just watched the Thriller 40, and there's no numbers that even match what he was doing at the time and what he's done. So I think when they had an audition, mind you, I had no agent, no manager. When they had the audition, I thought that was it. Like, no point intended. Like, this is it for me.
Oh, you're stupid.
I wanted just to be in front of him. That's the thing. I wanted to be seen. And for someone to get in front of Michael Jackson, best believe it's nearly impossible. He's bombarded by fans. People show up hours early to his concert. They send decoy cars. You never know where Michael Jackson is, will be, was. You hear about it too late. So I wanted to be in front of him so that he sees me, so he can feel my passion, my drive, like all the years I put into everything that I do. And if he could feel me, then I think maybe I get a call back. Maybe I don't get cut right away. Due to typecasting, man, I got cut right away. I was too short. And it hurt me. It bothered me. And then I overanalyzed it. I didn't understand what typecasting was. I was like, they didn't even get to see me. He didn't even get to feel me, see me, watch me, like, you know, get a glimpse of Flipz. So I really, really took it on another level to where I need to perfect what I'm doing so there's no doubt. And once I see that shooting star, I can catch it. And the tables turned a bit at that time for freestylers or for breakers, and more eyes were on us. So Gil Doldalao put me in front of Janet Jackson, and I was like, I have to. Yeah, I remember he invited me to her 40th birthday party, and I remember not wanting to drink, not wanting to do anything except perform like in front of her. So I did a little bit of freestyling in front of her for that party. Stevie Wonder like saying happy birthday. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
But I felt like that would have been my audition, because what if I had to audition and I get typecasted again? So I remember that from the first time, and I was like, no, I have to like let loose. And Gil asked me for not my availability, but like what was I doing from this time to this time, and I had no idea what it was for. He kept it very secretive. And then, yeah, I was able to dance for Janet Jackson, which made me feel now 1 degree closer to Michael and what I really wanted. And then hear this, in 2011, 2012, I submitted my work for Cirque du Soleil for the Michael Jackson show, and Jamie King hired me and put me in the creative team to create Billie Jean and a couple of cool transitions for the show and won. So after he left us, his legacy still lived on. I still had that burning desire and passion to work, not just for Michael, but even for Cirque du Soleil, like to embody such artistic expression on behalf of Michael Jackson and the estate, and Janet and the whole family were gonna watch the show. So I got to work, like, it's still 1 degree of separation. I got to work for the man, like, even while, you know, he's watching from above. So fulfilled, man, like purpose fulfilled. 20 years, almost 30 years later. Next year will be 30 years I've been breaking next year. So
that is so crazy. You look like you're 20. Like, that's how you been doing something for 30 years. That's crazy.
30, yeah, next
That's
year's
crazy.
30 years that I created Skill Methods with Abstract. Me and Abstract were in high school. All we wanted to do was like kill it at the
Yeah,
talent show. You know, you
yeah,
always want to
man.
do good in those things. And 30 years later, you got Cloud killing it, Luigi, Venom, Flea
Hmm.
Rock, Beast Mode, Abstract, like Technique. Everybody has come to the industry. I remember saying, if I get in, like if I get it, I'm gonna pull all my homies with me. You know, you always want to do
Right.
that for your friend. So we became this unstoppable force because the door was like a revolving door. Every gig I would be like, "Yo, we need Luigi, we need Cloud, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to hook everybody up,
Right.
and little by little, man. 30 years later, it like Skill Methods became like a household name. So
Right.
we did something right.
Look,
You know,
I want to say this real quick while we on that
yeah.
note about auditioning. Have you ever seen an audition or been to an audition where they make you do 50 million 8 counts? They want to see all your tricks, and they like run you for like 8 hours that day, and then you book the job. You go to the room, they do the choreography, and the choreography be like, and 1, 2, 3, 4, kick here and turn around, yeah. And you like, wait, you put us through all this choreography in the audition. Like they'll bring in a crazy choreographer who's crazy, and you have to learn this step that is destroyed. That's like, man, I'm not learning this. And then they have to see all your tricks, and then you book it, and then you're in the room with the dance with the choreographer. There's like 10 or like 80 y'all that got picked, and the choreographer is like, I mean, the choreography is like the worst. Not even say it's the worst, but it's like, dude, we could have all just walked in and learned this in 5 minutes, and we could have did this job without that whole audition. Have you seen that?
You know what I feel because I've been to them, and you knowing as a freestyler, it's even harder when you have to freestyle, and that's your like bread and butter, and then you have to somehow snap out of that, learn somebody else's moves, a choreographer who's been doing that all their life.
Exactly.
It's hard, man. It's hard, and on top of that, I do now, being behind the scenes, I do now understand why they make it so difficult. Is because they want to cherry pick and filter out who's not ready, who's green.
Right.
They don't understand how to do it over and over. Their brain doesn't comprehend or absorb fast enough to learn the choreography, and that people start getting weeded out, and you start to see that and feel that. The longer you're in the game, you start to go, oh, I know Shane Sparks' style. I'm gonna know. I know I need to flip. I know Shane's gonna come up with really dope, intricate choreography. His isolations are really dope. So you have to go in with that mindset, knowing now there is ego in the game in the choreography because people take your class, right? People that take your class are learning how you move and the options and choices that you make with your dance and with the music. When you're at an audition and there's hundreds, if not thousands of dancers, like Janet, Michael, Donna, thousands of people audition, Brittany. So there's no time. It's you don't want to be there 12 hours.
Right, exactly.
It's an 8-hour day. Why are we there 12 hours later to do it again and again? It's hard, man.
And to add to that, that's why they typecast. Because I had never heard of typecasting. When I first moved to LA, they had an audition for Janet. I'll never forget this. Everybody named Mama went there. I never went to that because I just didn't. And I remember everybody telling me, it was like, dude, we lined up in a line. And this choreographer came up to us and said, stay, thank you, stay, thank you. They was like, I didn't even get the dance. And I was like, what do you mean? They was like, dude, it's typecasting. I had never even heard that phrase before, I don't think, before then, typecasting. And it's like that, but I get it, though, because when you know what you want, like you said, height-wise, the nationalities, the build, all that stuff matters. So if Janet is 5'5", and she's thick, and da-da-da-da, she wants everybody. So if you 6'1", or if you 5'9", you're automatically excluded. No matter how good you look or how good you dance, you're just not right for the job. And I had to learn that. And and that's just a valuable lesson for anybody that's still coming into the game right now. Understand that your talent will book you a lot of jobs, but a lot of times it has nothing to do with your talent. Your talent is secondary. It's about what you bring visually and physically to the job. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. I think a lot of dancers don't realize that, and it is up to us to hand the torch and open that book of knowledge and let them at least read a page. Because when I came out here, no agent, no manager, I felt a little lost. But if it wasn't for those loyal friends that they're like, yo, Flipz, there's an audition tomorrow at Debbie Reynolds.
Exactly.
I would have never heard of that. I would have just gone to Debbie Reynolds at night to go to Groove Night, and then you find out, yo, they just had an audition here for Black Eyed Peas. So like, no one told me.
100%. You want me to tell you a choreographer that looked after me too is Fatima. I didn't really know Fatima at the time, but when she was the queen, she's been the queen since the beginning of time. It feels like
she's a queen.
Today, Fatima is still the elite choreographer. Like, I don't care what nobody say. But I remember her seeing me. I don't know if she came to my class, but I guess she heard about me. I remember her coming to me and she said, yo, I want you to come down and audition for this, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And that was how I got into it. People don't even know this because they don't really see me. It's Aaliyah's 4-page letter. I'm in that video. But, yeah, it's great. But I'm just standing around as an extra. I was an extra. And they had the fire. It was when the dude was, they had the fire and he was playing with the thing or whatever. And Leah was in the middle doing her little thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Me and my boy Maurice was like right in the middle, right there on the thing. And I was like, but that's how I met Aaliyah for the first time, you know?
That's dope.
It's crazy.
And
Crazy, right?
like Fatima would hire me. God bless her. Hopefully she watches this because she definitely deserves her kudos and her shout out.
100.
She just knew that I'm not a choreography dancer, but she wouldn't really cut me. She would just say, Flipz, can you stay till later, or can you come back at a certain time? And it's because she's not trying to waste my time to make me try to learn steps I cannot learn. She just wants to like the creme de la creme. Show me the best thing you got, and then absolutely, I'm gonna go to Pizza Hut, eat something real quick, grab me a Red Bull, come back, and I'm gonna kill it for you, and then we work together. But she hired me a lot on that note, and she would also tell me, I know a lot of producers or choreographers will tell you, we don't need to see certain people, like we just want to hire them, almost like
exactly.
She would literally tell me, unfortunately, you have to come to the audition or you have to show face. So I was always down. Whenever she would tell me that, I'm like, my foot's in the door, but in order for her to get the green light for me, I have to show the producers who are spending the money, who is this guy? Why are we hiring him? Like, how good can he possibly be? So every time she would say that, she's like, yeah, just come to the audition at whatever time. And, I remember she was with Block at the time, so that's when I started trying to learn those ropes. Like, okay, these choreographers are with these agencies, so who's hiring me the most? Let me be smart and let me go with this agency because they're constantly hiring me, or the choreographer really takes me on all their gigs or whatnot. So Fatima was one of those.
Right.
Yeah.
And just since you're on a note, this is a great thing to let everybody know. Dancers that are trying to come up in the world, you have to be very smart with the people that you pick to represent you.
Yes.
Not every agency is for you, because like you just said, some of them will have their core dancers. I can't tell you how many times I heard back in the day, they were like, they never hire me, they never send me out. But all her friends are getting booked for the same job that she's just as qualified for as they are, but because they have their core. So if you find a place and you see that they have their core and they're always, that might not be the place for you, because then you'll go over here and then you'll be part of the core. And I hate to say favoritism, but that's just life in general, because you always want your best to represent you. So if you're an agency and you send 10 dancers, you want them people to see the best 10 dancers that you got. And y'all better be tapping, y'all better be jazzing, y'all better be lyrical, y'all better be hip hop, y'all better be fun.
I'd like to piggyback off that. I'd like to say this to dancers: when you compare yourself, let's say like, oh, I killed the audition, yes, 100%, or kudos, or you tick that box, fantastic. Between an agent, a choreographer, a producer, the director who's going to be shooting it, the editor, the production company, it's called a relationship. You have to build a relationship and a rapport that is trusted. You can't just be good looking, or like, you can't just drive the nicest car. You're not going to get hired for that. What a lot of dancers get upset about is like that they feel favoritism, but if you're in a relationship and you have to court someone, like let's say you get married, right?
Right.
Or you start dating, there's a moment of courtship. You have to respect the other person, be truthful, be honest, keep the relationship open, right? So a lot of dancers don't think that way because they sign to the agent and are now expecting jobs.
Exactly.
Well, guess what? The agent gets the breakdown, which is the open door. So once they trust you and they feel that you're ready, they're going to open that door to you and give you a slot once you sign for a year. It's a relationship. You can't sign to an agent and be directly booked on every gig that comes.
Exactly.
Yes, that's not how it works.
And
you know?
that's the illusion of the agencies from a lot of dancers. They think just because, like, I can only go back to, I used to hear this every day. I'm just trying to get an agent. I'm just trying to get an agent. I knew people who worked more than people that didn't have agents. You feel me on that?
Myself included.
You feel me? You feel me? So it wasn't, getting an agent is great, but it's not all about that. Like you said, it's about relationships and how you represent yourself. And I want people to really, really understand that. I want to go tell you a story real quick. I'm not sure if I ever told this story or if I told you last time we talked. Do you know anything about the story with Mad Chad when he auditioned for You Got Served?
No.
Okay.
No.
Listen to this. It's a beautiful ending. It's a beautiful ending. So listen. So we in this room is me, Dave, Chris, Robert Hoffman, and a couple other people. We're sitting at a table. So people coming in there one at a time. All I have to say is Mad Chad. And if you know who Mad Chad, if you listen to this, watch it, if you know who Mad Chad is, that's all I have to say, okay? Back then, he was cold. So you know what I mean? Like, he was like a beginner, you know, you're like, oh, what is he doing? No, he came in there looking like Superman, because I always say he looks like a supermodel to me. Like, and he walked in, and he stood there, and Chris was like, who is this? I was like, this is Mad Chad. And to be honest, I didn't know Mad Chad that well. I was still getting to know a lot of dancers at this time. So, but after he did what he did, he comes in there and he just stops and just went the off. Right. And we was all like, what is going on? We looking at these, because I never seen that. I'll just say that I've never seen a white boy dance like that, to be honest, move like that. I was like, what did I just watch? So I look at Chris, and I'm thinking I'm about to look over at Chris, and he about to have this face like, oh. I thought he was about to have that face. He was like, you know, Chris. I was like, Chris. He was like, I don't know. You like him? I was like, Chris, he said,
I don't know.
He just destroyed the place. Come on, man. He's like,
man.
I don't know. And he didn't book.
No
That's
way.
why he's not in You Got Served. Picture this.
No way.
Matt
Chad didn't book it.
Look, how sick. So now what's crazy about it is then you go to Step Up. And who murders the scene every time they show his face?
Mad Chad.
Like, oh my God. Every time I sat in the theater and his face comes up, I'd be like, he about to destroy the spot. Like, I don't understand what Chris didn't see at that time. And the reason I'm telling the story is sometimes people in charge don't see your magic. Right. They don't see your shine. And you have to understand that you're only dealing with humans. You're only dealing with humans right now. And sometimes they have a vision. Right. And if you're not a part of their vision, then you got to, that's just it. It's not your talent. Because we all know you can't watch a video with Mad Chad in it and just be like, that's the coldest thing I've ever seen in my life. As a what I don't even know what you call it style. Robotic, isolation. It's such a mixture.
It's like mechanical, yeah.
Yeah, like he needs a title to govern what he does, because it's so many. When I watch him move, he could do 3 different moves, but I see 5 different styles inside of what he just did. I was like, he's not doing a robot. He is not doing isolation. It's all of that, like whatever, man.
He was doing AI before AI.
Exactly. And you know what I mean? And it's stuff like that. And I just want to put this out to the dance world, because my whole life has just been trying to uplift the dance world. I don't understand why a guy like Mad Chad, a guy like you, I know how successful you are, and I know the things that you're about to do and you've done, but I don't understand why we're still not winning awards and we're not set for life and having, I don't want to say it's all about money, but it is about money at the end of the day. Like this thing that we dedicate ourselves to, and it's stuff we give up. We sacrifice home, girlfriends, money, our family, cars, or just wherever your hometown is. You leave that to come here to pursue, and then you accomplish all this and still really can't say, I'm about to move my mom to California, I'm about to move my mom to Vegas and buy her a house and buy her a car, or my dad, or I'm about to start my family. We always feel like, I'm not going to say for everybody, but we always feel like one more gig or this next gig, then I'll be able to do that.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And then it's like, and not talking for everybody, but just a majority, because I know we both been in this game for a minute, so we've seen the top of the line, the best dancers in the world, and I see them, and I could go to LA right now and pull through and see them, and they'll just be going to an audition. And you'd be like, dang, dude, I remember you used to murder. And then a person, not knocking acting or singing, but a person could put out a single, a song, or they could do a movie and get $10 million for it to be set. Based off from our point of view, they set. They can go do a hit, get a hit record, and be set for like the next few years or whatever. And they were like talking, and like, I'm 16 years old. I just bought my first house. I just bought my first car. I just took my mother. And you'd be like, wow, like those are dreams for us. And I just want us to really get to a position that I want us to get put in a position where we can do that for our fans and for our friends and family, and just for ourselves, just so we can feel secure. That's the biggest goal that I would like to accomplish in this whole dance world.
Yeah, I feel like you're like inspiring me to come up with an answer for it, and I do feel like how we learn the craft of auditioning, we know what we have to do when we get in the room. I think dancers and choreographers, we have to, in our mindset, understand now we have to do it for the next room, which is the executives and the producers that cut these checks. I am now in a mindset where I'm not afraid to be put in a room. You could name the biggest network, the biggest channel, whether it's Netflix or NBC or CBS or Fox. If you put me in that room, I now have accumulated enough knowledge and understanding to talk in those types of environments and conversations, to say this choreographer needs $50,000, $125,000 for this, six figures for this. The job contains this. There's a breakdown. There's this much for the production. There's this much for rehearsal. I've learned that much to say, if You Got Served was done with $8 million and it did $56 million at the box office, and it felt like a music video that blew up, right? It felt like we're filming an epic, really long music video. It didn't feel like we were filming Avatar or Titanic for like a year, right? There's those films that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's a production for a very long time. We rehearsed for a couple weeks, shot for a couple weeks, done, and in the bank was $56 million at the box office that we were a part of. Now, we didn't know it was going to make $56 million, but when you say, okay, the value that we put into an $8 million budgeted, ultra low budget screen film,
come on, man.
we almost times 10 the value of it because of the dance. So don't be afraid. Let's just say for just for this conversation, if somebody made $10,000 from the movie as a dancer, and you up the ante times 10, you shouldn't be afraid 10 years, 15, 20 years later to ask for $100,000 to perform and kill it or do a cameo for your film, because that is what they do. They scale up these actors, the stunt guys, the stunt coordinators, everyone gets scaled up as you put in time. So dancers need to understand, as we put in time, there's no reason why Flipz is worth the same 20 years later after 36 movies. I've done 36 films. Would I settle for like the lowest scale rate, knowing that I'm the guy from You Got Served? That's beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So you have to like bulge up at some point and go, listen, I'm getting older. I need to make more money. Like where we are in the world, it's very expensive to live in Los Angeles. So I can no longer settle for that rate. And it's not that you're not humble. It's just someone has to start that movement of like, whether it's dancers alone compliance, SAG, or like a special conversation we need to have. And when you put all the right people in the room or in that round table there, and there's respect and there's value, then then we'll see those rates go up. We'll hear about contracts that are lucrative for us. Like oh man, I never thought they would even offer me that. I was like, well, I think Flipz had a conversation with the SAG representative, in which I have had to have those conversations, and I'm saying this like as with as much transparency as I can. There have been times where b-boys are in really rough, either the floor is rough or it's not right, or we're out in asphalt, or we're like head spinning, after a touchdown for some football players, we have to do head spins like Jerry Maguire, like in the end zone, right?
Right.
You're not thinking of the hazard or the danger that you're putting that dancer in. It's just, no, that's right. Do anything. That can do anything. You'll be fine. Then injury or something goes wrong, and then you put a price on what they asked to do. Now, hospital bills, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars that are now being spent by production because it wasn't safe for this almost like unhuman, freak of nature named Flipz to just do what he does. Yeah, but under the right circumstances, I could do it forever. Under the wrong circumstances, it is hazardous and it's life-threatening. And now we're talking about, thousands of dollars of hospital bills that now they have to cover. But the value of that dancer should also remain at that expense.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense.
$50,000 on fixing me up at the hospital. Well, guess what? That in which I brought to the table was already worth 50 grand. And now you see the value of when you bring in the right people to do the right stuff. So those are conversations that need to be had with an open mind and respect. It can't be, it can't really be like, like you're in a courtroom and I demand 50 grand, like that's, you're probably
Come
not
on, you're just a dancer. Like, huh? But hold up. You know what I want to talk about real quick? I want to ask you this before we go. Tell me about the Olympics right now. I heard that you were going to be one of the judges or you're associated with it. How's that going?
Yeah. I even wore the shirt. Check it out. Check it out. You see it? So yeah, I've gone to France. I've gone to Paris a couple times. First time was back in December, and some really incredible things are happening. And I don't know who knows, but I know that people celebrated hip hop's 50th anniversary, and breaking is the physical manifestation of hip hop. It wasn't popping, it wasn't locking, it wasn't crunk, it was breaking. So the fact that the dance of hip hop made it to the world's largest stage, hundreds of millions of people watch, not 20 million like it's like America's Got Talent.
Right.
No, hundreds of millions of people will watch this event, and I think it's incredible. So judging is definitely difficult. Yeah, you have 5 judges, you have 6 criteria, and then you have like a tablet that you gotta like, you can't miss a beat, you gotta watch and judge at the same time. So yeah, you're doing quite a lot. But again, bringing back being around for 30 years, you kind of train your eye to know what you're looking for. And they trust you. You have to be as honest as you possibly can. You can't get too tied up in the politics. And what's going to end up happening in the Olympics is going to be, it's groundbreaking. It's like trailblazing. So if You Got Served was like the new Bible for hip hop dance, right? And it was a trailblazer for the Step Up films and all that stuff. Imagine what breaking is going to do at the Olympics. It's huge.
God.
It's huge. It's not gymnastics. It's not swimming. It's not track and field. It's this new, wild, crazy, artistic, incredible,
limitless
expression. Yeah, I guarantee it, there's gonna be an explosion of breaking, which then ties to hip hop. Like in You Got Served, you guys cherry picked breakers within the crews.
Right.
That's gonna be like to the next level now. There's gonna be all sorts of dance crews that are gonna attract or vouch for or put breakers. And what was cool about breaking is when you get a b-boy or a b-girl that knows what they're doing and knows how to defy the movement,
Right.
you can teach other dancers how to do it, so that these dancers that are on So You Think You Can Dance and Dancing with the Stars and everything else, they can learn to break. It all you have to do is you have to crack the code. And for me, it's fear. For me, when people want to learn to break, the first thing is I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to break my bones. I don't want to snap my neck trying to do a head spin. Once you get past the fear and you build enough strength and stamina and the fundamentals, right? If you train them enough, you start to morph. You go through a metamorphosis as a dancer and now learn the laws of physics and gravity. You're like almost like a scientist. You're like a human roller coaster in a way.
Right.
To take windmills down to the ground. A lot of people are nervous to get started, but after the Olympics, the motivation will overconquer the fear, and a lot of people are gonna be breaking. A lot of kids, like, the moment they start dancing, they're gonna want to get their head immediately. Like,
okay, I want to say this. What do you what have you seen since you've been doing this? Like, what's the level like with the kids? Tell me about that.
I'll tell you the level of it. They're getting younger and they're getting better and faster. So people like myself are like, oh my God, how are we going to keep up with the way that it's evolving? There's these really young kids. The first winner, Bumblebee, I believe he was 16 back in 2018 when the International Olympic Committee first looked at breaking to possibly be a new sport. Right. This kid was flying, like levitating. He could do like a 1.5 air flare. He could do an air flare catch with one hand straight to 90, not even use his other hand. Like the level of movement, the torque, the speed, like the velocity in which they can keep going, the length of the combinations. There's b-boys. I know Issei from Japan can go 90 seconds straight in a solo. Straight, like he continues his flow and he continues his transitions, and you're like, there's no way that people have that much stamina to not stop the entire time. And he's like a video game. And then Pocket, if you see b-boy Pocket, what he's able to do doesn't seem real. So people will go back to the videos and play it in slow motion because they missed something he did in between his movement. He does it so fast and he's so swift. He's so quick. He's got so much finesse with his power moves. He's able to switch dynamics and different levels. Like, you got your windmills that are low. You got your air flares that are high. You got your torpedoes or your corks, your gainer fulls that are up in the stratosphere. Like, imagine ticking all 3 levels while you're doing a combination and not slow down, not crash. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And I remember, I want to give a shout out to DJ Gaffney real quick. It's one of my boys.
Let's go.
Urban Smoke. Okay, so check it out.
Yes.
When I was in Cincinnati, this is when Crush Groove had just came out. That's how old I am. Listen. This dude, listen, nigga, I'm going to blow your mind. So, remember Crush Groove, the guy who spent on the top of the car with the football, with the motorcycle helmet? I forgot his name. So, we're at USA Skating Rink. Me and my boy Chris, Keith, everybody, we all chilling. This dude comes up in there. We got our breakers and we got our poppers. We was the poppers. We was upstairs. The breakers was downstairs. Lil Dave, Lil Mike. We had all these dudes. They was all sitting there. So we in there doing our little thing, and our dancers go out there doing their flares. I think Dave could do like 3 flares. I think my boy Maurice could do like maybe like 10 head spins, whatever. We just thought we was the sickest things in the world. This dude.
That was dope for back then, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It was, but this dude came onto the dance floor, and when I say he went from halo to windmill to backspins to 1990s to that, we was like, what? He shut our whole crew down that day. I swear, we was sitting in the house like, what did we just witness? And we thought that stuff was fake. We used to think that when we was watching You Guys Serve, or not You Guys Serve, but B Street, we thought B Street was fake. We thought they were speeding up the cameras because it was unreal for them to be going that fast, because we were still doing the windmills if you counted the windmills, it was like the rhythm would be like 1 and 2 and 3 and now they're like this.
Like
They like
blurred,
you can't even count them now. So we thought it was sped up, and then once we start getting around real b-boys and we start seeing it for real, that's when we realized, like, dude, this is a whole nother world outside of Cincinnati that don't play. And now to see it go from that to what you was just talking about, 2024, with these kids that are like 12, 13 years old.
Yes.
Man, the sky is the limit.
I've seen as young as 6. And shout out to Little Demon. I think he was 6 or 7 by the time he was 9. He was the king of Hawaii. Like, he was this unbeatable, like little Tasmanian devil, like a ball of energy. But the kids, what I love about the kids is they don't have fear yet. They haven't been hurt. They haven't like broken their bones, or like nothing has tempered with their innocence of like, I could do that. They see it, I could do that.
Right.
The older that we get and the more that it hurts, and like you start putting on pounds, or, due to stress or like strain, it starts to hurt. You start to do it less and less and become less passionate about it. These kids do it every day, all day, nonstop, all night, and then they wake up the next day. They don't even eat dinner, and they just go for it again.
They don't even stretch.
They don't even stretch. They don't stretch.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, you guys are not human, and they're getting younger and better and better. So
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wrap this up, because I know people like that, people coming in and talking, whatever. I want to edit it down and post it. I want to send you stuff, but I just want to say I appreciate you. I respect everything that you've done. Your personality is going to get you into way more doors to your dance, whatever, because you're just such a good dude since day one. You're the same person. I love that. And, good luck out there, man. And, let's just keep dance alive, man. And all the people that are listening, that are watching, like, if you're a dancer, just know that we have been through so many things, and this dance world changed our lives. So we're living proof that it can take you from living in Cincinnati, Detroit. Where you from originally?
Puerto Rico.
Let's go. It could take you from Puerto Rico and bring you to LA and whatever, and put you in the movies, and you become icons. Yeah. So we are the proof right now. So much respect to you. Thank you for coming on my show, DancePod411. I'm only doing this for the dancers, because I want to highlight the stuff that we've been through, what we go through, and hopefully what we're going to continue to do. All right. Anything special you want to say to anybody out there in the dance world?
I want to say, I have this motto, and it's like 60, SIXDI, and it stands for see the invisible, do the impossible. Like, just imagine it. You don't have to share your vision with anyone, even if people think you're kind of crazy, or you're a little off to the left. If you see the invisible, you could do the impossible. Don't let anyone tell you you can't, you won't. They don't see it for you. It's not for them to see. It's for you to envision and execute. So if we were able to do it from you got served to today, you're able to do it. So
exactly.
See the invisible, do the impossible. It's that 60 mindset.
That's what's
up.
That's what's up. All right, Flipz, I love you, dude. Appreciate you. And I'll talk to you soon.
Y'all just mad because today you suckers got served.
You're so stupid. All right, dude. I'll talk to you later. Woo! Let's go. Peace.